no Jedi.
Your powers are weak, old man.
Always remember, your focus determines your reality.
Hello there.
General Kenobi! You don't know the power of the dark side.
And welcome back to Disciples of the Force podcast. I'm your host, Spencer Silva. I am not joined by my co-host, Austin Hyatt. He is on vacation, a well-deserved vacation. He's been working hard, graduated college and everything, got a job, so he needs a little bit of a break. He's been working super hard, so he's out in Mexico, Savin and Cabo, while I'm here, good old Utah. So we wanted to, not going to do a very long podcast today because there's some things that I want to talk about with Austin about the episode. But I will say, as news goes, there's not really news. One thing that was happening that I was seeing is that the Acolyte is literally getting review bombed. Like, people are, the second it shows up on IMDb to rate it, which is usually a couple hours before it even is streamed, people are going and just giving it 1-star reviews, like 2,000 reviews, and it hasn't even officially come out yet. So it's like, that is insane. And they've done the math of, like, within the first 3 weeks, there was 20,000 reviews for the Acolyte compared to the Mandalorian, which is a love thing, and that had about like 12,000. And so the 20,000 reviews were all negative reviews of people just spamming it because they're mad. And that's crazy to me. I can't imagine being so upset at something that I won't even watch it and I'll just review bomb it. Like, that's just, I don't know. That's crazy to me. I'm not them, so I guess it doesn't matter. I guess they're just mad, which is nothing to be mad at. They're like, the things they're making up in the Acolyte are like not even there, or they're so small that they think it's like the whole story. It's so dumb. Anyway, I digress. So let's talk about Night, the episode of the Acolyte. Loved it. The best. It's the best right now coming out of the Acolyte. Best episode of the series, hands down. People on Reddit are loving it. People on IMDb are rating it high. It was a very well done episode. It was very good. We talked about last week how it was supposed to be, last week's episode with this week's episode was supposed to be one episode, but they had to cut it. And looking at that, if it's like one full episode, it's even better, kind of a slow start, slow burn, and then you get that crazy middle and end that we had today. So I thought it was great. So I will say this, we were wrong about Plo Koon. It was not Plo Koon. A lot of people thought it was Plo Koon as well. But that Jedi got murked. So some good misdirection letting us think that, which I'm fine with. I love that. The choreography in this episode was amazing. The lightsaber battles were amazing. I absolutely loved when Osha wakes up and she looks over and she sees, I think Kamir, I already forgot his name. Yeah, Kamir, attacking the 3 Jedi. There's some complaints online saying like, oh, can't they easily take him? Like, they're so slow to fight him. But there is a part in the episode I want to talk about later on where Yord is talking to Osha and he's like, yeah, he doesn't fight like, like regular or what we're used to kind of thing. And he gets in your mind. And so I wonder if that's playing into how the Jedi weren't reacting quick enough and that he was getting into their heads and kind of messing with them. Along with that, the helmet being able to block their reading his thoughts and stuff, or do the Jedi mind trick and junk. I thought that was really cool. But someone, Ryan Erie from Screen Crush, made a really, really good point. Sorry if you hear that airplane passing by. He made a really, really awesome point that when we first see Kamir, or when I guess the Jedi come to talk to him the first time in that little apothecary, I don't know what it's called. I think that's what it was. He's very nervous and he says, "Don't do the Jedi mind trick thing on me, yada, yada, yada." And it's like, okay, so clearly this is a big fear this guy's got, for one, because he's like, yo, don't do that. But he's also got a helmet to block that out. So I think maybe he was genuinely scared. Like, yeah, I don't want them to, they read my mind right now. They're going to figure out that I am the Sith Lord, or I guess the Acolyte. So yeah, I thought that was really cool. I think I mean, the reveal we talked about last week, how we were like, oh, it's going to be Kamir, because we thought it was going to be the mother or someone else. And this week, of course, it was confirmed. And I thought to myself, I like it. I like the misdirection that they gave us, because there was even a part in this episode where Osha was like, yeah, my mother was able to do that. When that's exactly going, sorry, let me go back a bit. When I was talking about Yord saying that he can get in your mind and control it kind of a thing. And then Osha says, my mom used to be able to do that. I thought for sure, not for sure, but I thought, oh, okay, maybe they're leading us to maybe it is the mom. So I didn't think it was bad. Some people thought it was like really obvious that he was the guy, and kudos to you. I think I'm pretty on top with that kind of stuff, and I was not surprised today, but surprised last week when that first theory came around and I heard it. I was like, oh, geez, I'm an idiot. But yeah, it is pretty obvious when you look past it. But we talked about how it was kind of the Yoda thing of him playing dumb the whole time while he's talking to May, and she had no idea. So anyway, that's not really the cool part. I don't know why I kind of just went on a tangent there. But there's one thing I love, and that is that we are finally getting deaths in Star Wars. We're finally, people are dying. And the biggest thing here, the biggest takeaway that I just love is that lightsabers are powerful again, dude. They were slicing them up, dude. People were getting absolutely destroyed. Like, it's just bringing back to kind of George Lucas's, when he had the lightsaber, that they meant something. They were strong, they're powerful. And then with his Disney acquisition, kind of in the sequels, we didn't really see they were there, but it was like, didn't feel like the lightsaber could do much. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't strong. And now we're saying, hey, it is back to being strong. And I love that. So I was really very, very, very happy with that. One thing I want to say here, I loved, we'll talk about the death since I'm already bringing them up. Dude, Jackie's death was so awesome, which sounds crazy to say, but the whole episode, you're seeing she's very eager. Like, she's trying to capture May. She's trying to, bring her in. She's very eager the whole time. She's just so ready to go and attacking. And kind of not doing the Jedi training we've seen where like defensive, sit back. She starts to kind of like actually push, especially with the fight with Khmer when she pulls out the second lightsaber, which I loved. I thought was sick. And they're starting to battle. You start to see that she starts to go on the attack and not the defensive, and then slowly after she starts to be, kind of defensive. But then we fast forward to the episode where you have Soul going to attack and Jackie. And she's super eager to attack, which is ultimately her downfall. He, whatever he does, not misdirection. I can't remember what I was going to say, but he is able to disarm her and then just freaking get her with that secret saber. I don't know what he had, or if it was a dagger. I don't know. It was sick though. He just 1, 2, 3 little pumps. So sick. I loved it. And the reveal was sick too, because we see the helmet comes off and then it cuts back to them, and then you see Jackie and you thought we were going to see the face, and then we see her die and then his face. Amazing reveal. Very good job to the director, whoever was over this episode. I didn't look. That was super awesome. Yord's death, so great. I didn't care for Yord the character. So super sick that he's not sticking around, right? But snaps his neck is just so good, like so good. I don't know. Like going, because one thing, the Obi-Wan series gets a lot of flack. Like, it wasn't amazing. But one part I did love was when Vader is walking the streets, like, he's so strong and powerful and he snaps the kid's neck. And I'm like, geez, dude, this is the evil part. This is the dark side. Like, it's not like they're going to be taking it lightly. So this was so cool to see Yord get his neck snapped, which sounds insane to say. But it was, honestly, I just enjoyed it. I thought that was so good. Let's see here. I mean, I got 1,000 notes, but a lot of this I want to talk with Austin. I just want to talk about the bigger things. I don't know. I'm loving it. I think if you're Disney right now, if I'm the marketing team, I'm going to try to figure out something about pushing this episode out to see if I can get people to watch it. But the problem is they're not going to be able to, because you have to watch the first episodes to watch this episode. You can't just jump into it. But man, it's just so good. And it sucks that people are writing it off, and they wrote it off in the first 2 episodes, because you got to let it breathe. You got to let stories come together, right? Especially in a series. Like, a series is not going to be off the bat. Every episode you got to build a story, build suspense, figure out what's happening, what's going on, kind of introduce characters, especially with something like this where it's never been done. Like, these characters have not been shown ever before, And what I'm trying to say is, like, with other Star Wars projects, like Andor, we know the characters. There's not really a lot of explaining that needs to be done. And we're in the time of the universe that we know the Empire. Whereas here, people who aren't reading the High Republic books, they're not getting, they got to kind of get spoon fed these things because they don't know what it is. And me included. I mean, I'm a Star Wars fan and I haven't read any of the High Republic books. They're on my list and I need to, but so, you gotta build a story and set the time period and you gotta let it breathe to get to this point. I love it. And Austin and I talked a lot about how we were like, man, I kind of want, it's kind of crazy they revealed the twin reveal so early on into the episode, and we were kind of like, yeah, it's weird. I don't know if I love it. Sorry about the other plane you're going by. They're just flying all day today. But yeah, the twin reveal we thought was a little early, but now we're starting to see that really isn't the whole, focus of the series. Like I guess the twin reveal was just kind of a minor plot. Because and this is kind of my prediction, what I'm hoping, because now we're at a point where Osha is with Kamir and May is with Sol, right? And of course we know May is going to try to kill Sol. And I'm really hoping these guys, May and Osha both fall to the dark side. I really want that to happen. Like they both become part of the dark side and they're kind of this power duo going through, which I don't know how that'd work with the rule of twos because that's already been implemented at this point in time. So I don't know. It'd be super cool if they both became, like, if Osha gets convinced and she's converted, and then it's just Sol trying to save him. And I kind of hope there's no redemption. Just boom, they just stick to the dark side. I don't know. I mean, I have questions, for the larger part of the Star Wars universe of there being no Sith alive, because it sounded like they kind of confirmed that he was a Sith, because he's like, I want to do whatever I want. I want to wield my power. I feel like he said the word Sith in there. I don't know. But my whole thing is I won't say anything till the end so they can clean up the plot hole if he is truly a Sith, because I think the whole time we were kind of saying he wasn't, but this episode I really felt like he was highly alluding to that. So we'll see what happens. Maybe he uses a Jedi mind trick on that Jedi because he's more powerful. Oh, you know what I mean? Even though it's for like the weaker life form, not life form, the weaker minded individuals, not so smart. Maybe the Sith got a superpower. Anyway, sorry, that was a different tangent I wasn't planning on going on. But the last couple things I do want to end here, like I said, I'm going to keep this short because a lot of this I do want to talk about. So we thought the big mystery was, who is the Acolyte? Who is this person? Who is the master, I guess is what I should refer to him as. That was kind of the whole, that was everyone's question, like, who is this dude? And we thought that maybe that big reveal was going to be at the end of the series, and it's kind of here more towards the middle. So that's leading me to believe that isn't their purpose. Like, that isn't the whole mystery of the show. That's just a subplot, or that's a sub part of the mystery. Yes, it's a huge reveal, but the big reveal at this point is what happened to the Covet? Like, what happened to everyone on that planet? You know what I mean? When the Jedi show up, I think that's now leading to what the real mystery is. I mean, now we're getting some stuff of, we're seeing that May, when she's talking to Osha, is like, they brainwashed you. Like, you don't understand what happened. Is like, is that real, or is she just trying to trick her? Like, it just adding more elements to the story. And so the big reveal is going to be what happened on that planet. We're going to get the other point of views, and I'm super excited for that because I think this is a fun way to tell the story. And, it's not kind of your traditional of like, oh, who's the bad guy? It's what even happened? Why did they shoot? Why did Osha want to go and kill all these people? Why did, why is Sol kind of very protective of her May and want to make sure she's okay? Because does he feel guilty? Osha, did he feel guilty of what happened? And that's why he took her, and he wants to make sure she's okay because he feels guilty of what happened. I don't know. I mean, I'm excited to see, genuinely. So I don't know. The last thing I have here is a theory of Kamir. I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing that right. I'm going to laugh if I go back and I listen and I wasn't saying it right at all. But anyway, the theory, and this doesn't come from me. I watched this off of a Screen Crush video, and I was like, dang, that's a really good point. Not a really good point. An interesting point is what I should say. Not a really good point. He really is pretty strong on the belief that Kamir is Darth Plagueis. Which if that is what this is, that's so sick. that's honestly so sick if that's the truth. But we have illustrations of Darth Plagueis, and he's this ugly creature. He's definitely an alien species. So I mean, my question with that first would be, if that is true, I mean, I guess they could retcon it. If none of his illustrations or anything we've seen of Darth Plagueis, if it's not canon, if it's all legends, then yeah, they can easily retcon that and move on. Doesn't matter. Retcon? I don't know how to pronounce it. Sorry. Austin says that word. I just said it. I think it's I'm looking it up real quick because now I just got nervous. Hey, this is what you get when you get just me. It's Redcon with a T. Gosh, Redcon is the pre-workout I use. That's funny. I'm a moron, dude. I may have graduated school, but man, am I a silly boy. Anyway. Yeah, so if anyway, all the illustrations we see of him, if that is all legends and that's none of that is canon, then absolutely he could be Darth Plagueis. He could be, or he could be a shapeshifter. I don't know. That could be a thing. Maybe he's a shapeshifter and he can look however he wants to look. Maybe he gets disformed. I don't know. I don't think the disformed thing, because he looks like a totally different alien species. So I'm not too sure about that one. I don't know. I really like that theory. I don't really know the evidence to support it, so let me know down in the comments below. Yeah. I don't know. I'm pumped. I'm excited to see the rest of the series. We talked about last week. They had me on the ropes. They said, you reeled me back in. After this episode, I'm fully in. I want to see how it takes place. We have those elements we've talked about of the acting not being amazing. And we're looking past that. That's been my decision going forward. I'm not going to harp on that, except for right now when I'm going to talk about it just a little bit. That part with Ocean May, the sisterly love, I just feel like the acting wasn't amazing. And I can say that because I'm not an actor. So yeah, I can tell them it's bad. No, I'm joking. I just felt like it just wasn't. I felt like it was a really emotional moment, and it was really important to have them actually have this conversation where it's just them two talking. And I just feel like it lacked a lot of the luster, a lot of the. I just didn't feel like it had everything I was hoping it would, because the acting wasn't amazing. But that's my last gripe with it. That's the last thing I'm going to talk about with acting. 17 minutes. Dang, I talked a lot more than I thought. I mean, this episode was amazing. Sorry, I'm got mad ADHD right now, so I'm just rambling. But seriously, I'm super pumped for how this is going to go. We have other things we're going to talk about. We're probably going to go over all of this again next week because I want Austin's thoughts. So it'll probably be more him just talking, and me just chiming in with little things that I think as we go throughout. For the beginning of next week's episode, and then we'll talk about the episode 6 or 7 for the Acolyte. Yeah, I just loved it. So good. I'm excited to see where this goes, especially with just, if this can be successful, Star Wars has got a lot it can pull from. Well, I don't know. I'm pumped for it. It brought me back into Star Wars, honestly. So I've always been in, but now I'm like 100%. I was worried about them, and now I'm not as worried. If they can give me just a little bit of this every time now and then, I would love just a full project that has nothing to make me complain, but that's hard to do, I guess. All right, man, women, sorry, whatever. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I almost made that worse. I'm just gonna stop talking. All right, everyone. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions or concerns, comment down below. Let us know your thoughts, Easter eggs. Well, I've been loving the comments you guys have been putting lately. It makes us feel really loved and cared about that you're watching our stuff. And honestly, yeah, you guys mean the world to us. So thank you for listening. We will catch you next week with Austin, who will bring a lot more continuity and a lot more of a flow to our podcast that today was missing. Yeah. But thank you for being a disciple of the Force.